Hey there, wonderful audience. It's Leeza here. I'm excited to have you join me today. In my recent article that I wrote, I explored the impact of sourcing on our local communities. So I can't wait to share some quite key, quite key points with you. So firstly, let's dive into what ethical sourcing really means. So ethical sourcing is all about being responsible business practices or having responsible business practices where the products and services are obtained in a way that respects social and environmental standards. And it also ensures the well-being of people and communities involved in the production process. So now let's explore the amazing benefits of ethical sourcing for our local communities. So my first point is fair living wages and improved standard of living. So with ethical sourcing, workers are paid a fair wage and are treated with respect, with the which uplifts their standard of living, and this also creates positive impact on their families and the contributor to prosperity in the local communities. Number two is it reduces poverty and it increases empowerment. So when businesses adopt ethical labor practices, they contribute to poverty reduction, empowered workers that can lead better lives, invest in education, health, contribution to the community and the development. Now, I mean, as a business owner myself, I'm very kind of relaxed. I just care that the work gets done. I'm not really too hung up on time and things like that. But I think it's a two-way street. I do think it's a two-way street. As much as we want to make sure that our workers are happy and they are content in their job, they also have to make sure that they put in the amount of effort also back to see the success of our business. Not just, I'll leave that there. And but the next point is supporting local productions and environments. So ethical sourcing often emphasizes supporting local productions and reducing waste. So this not only helps the environment, but also promotes the sustainability practices, safeguarding natural resources for future generations. So ensuring that ethical sources throughout the supply chain for businesses it's a little complex. Ensuring that ethical standards can be challenged, especially it can be challenging. Especially when it's a lower tier supplier. So the transparency and regular audits are crucial to maintaining ethical practices across the entire supply chain. So for me and my business, it's very easy because all our network is so tight. Yeah, I know the boss or the boss and the boss's family, and we go out for dinner or have coffee or something like that, right? So for you guys, visiting the factories, this is the crucial thing, but not just also visiting the factories and speaking to the boss, right? Try to speak to the local people to see if what they doing. So try to get onto the hood. So it's the same as if you're going to buy a business, you're going to look at certain things, right? Because what people show you isn't always what it is. So it's always getting down to the nitty gritty of the people behind the scenes. That's what I'm trying to say. So more challenging, lower tier, but for our business, we don't really have that many tiers, right? We're the middleman, so to speak. So we have our clients, then us, then the factory. yeah. And then whatever goes on in that factory, I've visited the factories, I've spoken to like the employees and stuff like that. Or again, I know them personally. The lack of supply chain transparency. So transparency is a massive issue in the supply chain, and it can make it difficult for consumers to know if the products they're purchasing were ethically sourced or not. So improving the supply chain transparency is essential to build consumer trust. It's essential. So, for example, the further along the chain you go out, the transparency is lost. So now look at some incredible real-world examples of companies that are leading the way in ethical sourcing. First, Starbucks, CAFE, CAFE, right? Practice program. So Starbucks Coffee and Farmer Equity, I think that is, CAFE practice program is a shining example, right? So they evaluate the coffee farms based on economic and social and environment criteria. People promoting sustainable coffee and growing practices. They protect the well-being of the farmers and also their communities. Village Ways and Partnerships. The Village Way Partnership collaborates with the remote rural communities in India, Nepal, and Ethiopia to establish village tourism enterprises. These communities own and manage the enterprises, ensuring the fair income distribution and brings benefits such as improved education and health. Now, I think my point on this is very well documented, that I do feel like as a human race we are so backwards when it comes to ethical sourcing or anything to do with like just general standards, that people cannot just do what they're supposed to do. There needs to be checks and balances like at every like every step of the way. So you can't just give a person something and tell them, all right, it's like people don't know how to be ethical, right? So without those clear guidances, those clear boundaries, and then people know how to operate within those boundaries, but then still trying to figure out a way around it. So I think if you're an ethical person, you're just going to do things just naturally. And of course, in life, things happen, right? That's the life. But not all the time. Not all the time do you have a trip up. So, ethical sourcing truly serves as a transformative force for local communities. It promotes fair labor practices and it supports the local production and reduces environmental impact. Now, while challenges still exist, businesses are taking strides to implement ethical sourcing practices and create a positive change. As small business owners, I do believe that we have a very big part to play in this. And if we make sure that our practices and our sourcing practices are ethically sourced, and making sure that our supply chain, as far as we can, be so transparent, others will follow. So thank you for joining me today to explore the impact of ethical sourcing on our communities. If you found that this video was informative and inspiring, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. And remember, by embracing ethical sourcing, we can all contribute to a brighter and more sustainable future for local communities worldwide. Thank you for joining me today. Have a blessed week, and I'll see you next week.